All right. Hello, everybody. Oh, that's beautiful. As you can see, Nami and Sarah and Gabby here again. We are wanting to talk about grounding up and down to Earth and activating through the sun today. And Nami is actually going to be at some point today drumming for us. And he brought in the beautiful beach. He lives close by it. It looks so pretty. Looks like a picture. Um, but first, we just kind of wanted to talk about, when we're talking about grounding with the earth and activating through the sun, what is it that we're even talking about? And it's really, when you boil it down to like one sentence, it's just connecting with um, your higher self, higher being, sun, higher sun, and then also connecting with earth, so that your energy system is connected up and down, right? And what could be, I don't know, Gabby, if you want to go into this, but what are some signs, if we're not grounded, and how kind of does that affect our energy?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good question we need to talk about, Often when we are not grounded, we feel scattered, we feel anxious, we feel overwhelmed, and this can lead to difficulties in focusing, making decisions, and we feel kind of disconnected. And if we practice grounding, it really helps to stabilize our energy and bringing the sense of calm, making us feel at home also in our bodies.
Kind of at home in that whole like plane of the universes, right? Like where we kind of just belong. Yeah, it's true. And then, we keep mentioning earth and sun. And I think most people probably have heard about connecting to earth, and like you have to ground, you have to just be grounded. And it's always talked about with grounding into just earth. But we also like to very much include activating and grounding into sun, grounding upwards is what we most of the time end up calling it. And so I don't know if you want to kind of talk about how, with earth and sun, how they kind of support us differently, but also equally. Like, why are we doing both of them at the same time?
No, I think it's really important to be grounded into earth and activate our connection to the sun, because together it just creates a balance. And while the earth keeps us, steady and rooted, the sun inspires us to growth and being dynamic. And so both are really essential and complementary to our well-being.
Right. Absolutely. And it's something that I think Nami actually said to me on one of our conversations, that with the younger generations coming in now, so I have a little one at home, them coming in, a lot of them actually have a harder time grounding into earth than grounding up. Grounding into earth doesn't feel quite right to them, just because they're such a high frequency. And so it's easier for them to connect upwards, to wherever they possibly came from, right? Than it is to ground down. They do still need to ground down, but a lot of times they need to go up first before they can ground into earth, which I found fascinating, but I actually tried out with my kiddo, and yep, he chose up instead of down at first. And it's really cool to kind of see and observe how also behavior-wise the difference is present when he or even myself, I'm grounded versus not grounded. A lot more aligned and centered when I am versus not. And if you're connecting upwards, then it's not just getting that motherly energy up, but it's also getting that, like, sun high vibrating with the higher chakras energy coming down into me. And it's just creating a beautiful balance, essentially, right? And so we keep talking about grounding, and I know I very briefly described it, but you know, grounding for most people is just associated with walking around barefoot in the grass, which a lot of times we don't even want to do because fertilizer is sprayed, or for us, there's ant piles just everywhere. So what does grounding actually really mean beyond just the like typical image that pops into people's head of walking barefoot?
Yeah, so for me, it means just to build a connection with Mother Earth and her energy. And that what I like to do is hug a tree, or mindful breathing, going outside and breathe in the fresh air, or just doing some physical exercises outside on the back porch. Or even, sometimes in wintertime, I just do visualizations of it, imagining I'm outside and doing these exercises. And this way, I really get connected with the energy of Mother Earth. So that's what I like to do.
Yeah, yeah, no, those are fun. I think I like to sit just with my feet in the grass where I know where I know there is no ant piles and it's not been totally just like fertilized and chemically treated. But I think where a lot of people, and just the picture is reminding me again too, where a lot of people really get their grounding from too is I don't know if you've ever noticed when you go to the beach and you've been at the beach for a couple of days and your feet have been in the sand and you just feel so much better. You feel so much more grounded and more centered. And that's kind of what you're aiming for when you're trying to ground at home too, is that kind of recreating that just in your body feeling that you get when you've been at the beach for a while, right? That's kind of the goal. And then when we're talking about grounding into earth and grounding also into sun, we're talking more about the energetic aspects of it, right? Like energetically speaking, how does that work? How do these forces, I guess you could call them, you know, connect with us or speak to us in an energetic kind of way? Essentially, with how they speak to us energetically is right with that vibrational level. And we've talked about that before, that high frequency coming in and that grounding, deeper energy that we draw up from the earth, right? And when we get those within us and draw those energies with us, they can kind of combine, kind of like a yin and yang, and swirl in our system and help us kind of shine and radiate our own inner light. And they can help us attune to ourselves, but also to um, the sounds so cheesy, but the forces around us, connecting with nature. Like you just have an intuition, a heightened intuition and awareness of how people are doing or plants. And something that is really cool for grounding too, that just popped in my head, is if you've ever tried to play with grounding and also feeling energy, it's just hovering your hands over plants to see if there's any kind of tingling. And if you have a plant that's kind of not doing so well, put your hand over that one versus a plant that's thriving and see if you feel a difference. It's actually really cool, and a really great way to kind of feel the differences in energy flow. And then before we start with our driving, I had one more question that we kind of wanted to address. And that is being, how can we begin tuning into the presence of Earth, of Sun more consciously? What would you say?
Which one? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
How would you connect with that presence more consciously, tune into Earth and Sun, both of them? How would you tune into those more?
You tune into the sound, and it will help you tune into the earth. So you listen to the frequency and it will help you ground better. Because the frequency, it comes first, sound is very fast, and then you will be able to ground better. So at least that's how I was taught with music. So
Okay.
frequency, go ahead.
And
So
if you don't have the music, what would you do
Oh man, what
Um,
in order to like tune in more, you know?
I would go outside for a hike or planting
Mm.
plants or just sometimes simply sitting on the back porch and listen to nature, listen to the birds, you know,
get off your cell
what
phone.
kind of sounds to the wind,
Mhm.
to the rain, you know, that helps really deepening the grounding practice.
Getting off your cell phone, getting off your computers,
Yes.
walking away from that EFT so that you can
Mhm.
really hone in. Really,
That's what kind of it comes down to, just like put down the the stuff we put in our faces, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we've kind of talked about everything. If you're ready, Nami, we can
And let me know
do
if you can
our
hear this because it's very loud. So not that it's beautiful out, so I don't mind, but I'm gonna just turn this around. So you can listen to the drums and watch those waves come in with the music so that you can be in one with those waves, be in the divine connection, universal connection, and let those waves go over you with the music.
Maybe you want to close your eyes, whoever is listening in, and just take that in.
I am. Breathing out love. Breathing in, I am. Breathing out peace. Breathing in, I am. Breathing out love. One more, I am. In peace with bliss and knowing that I am not the chaos. I am not the stress. I am not the anxiety, but I am safe. I am present.
Thanks, Nami.
Mhm.
I felt like energy waves, like the vibration of it. I was like, it just, yeah, there was a feeling of something coming. And that was very relaxing. So that was really cool.
Awesome. Awesome. I try to
That
do it
was
with the
really
beat
nice.
of the waves.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's very soothing, especially looking at that in the background. But yeah. Thank you everybody for joining us. But if you like this information and if you want to have more experiences of drumming as well and of crystal bowls and everything, then you should definitely come and sign up for our retreat, the Infinity retreat, where we will be talking about grounding up, grounding down with Mother Earth and Father Sun. We'll be talking about the 15 chakra system. We will be talking about the masculine and feminine energy and combining those and just creating that infinite balance within our system and within and without. And you can sign up on the link that will be posted under the video here. And we would love to see you there. And you can also look at more information there as well. And it'll be the three of us that will be guiding and leading the workshop or the retreat as well. And we're super excited about it.
Yes, we are.
So see you
Can't
guys
wait.
there.